I'm okay. I just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you here been a front seat. Get my meals, I'm gunning for the money. Money in the bank. Come with a dank, scrolling a tank, rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
What up and welcome to Woodward Heavyweights Live on Sports.com.
Welcome you.
Easy, joined by Smo Rex.
Hello.
Young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a.
go.
Detroit Mario.
We yelling free Anson until it's backwards, says LNW. Yeah, what? I heard Anson was in jail, but like, did they say what happened?
I don't think anyone announced he was in jail except for you just now.
In LNW, in the Woodward Sports Chat, says we yelling free Anson until it's backwards.
Yeah, but maybe we jokingly say it.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they
Hell
talked
of a
about
coincidence.
Is Anson for real in jail?
Yeah.
I wonder what he did.
He said, Joel said he got caught texting and driving.
They put you in jail for that?
I don't know.
You gotta have a warrant out for something else.
Maybe he's got like some unpaid parking tickets or something.
I mean, no, an Anson, it could be a plethora of things. It could be so many things.
Yeah.
A lot of sketchy things.
Shall we speculate?
Across the. All right, I'll leave it alone.
I'm
We got Caleb, intern Caleb in the building as well.
Caleb!
Smash that like button. Be a
on?
friend, tell a friend. Young Sess in the building. Way too close to Chris' nickname. Maybe I'll keep calling you Caleb. Real quick, rest in peace, Jerry West. The logo, the legend. I believe he has 7 rings. Am I correct in saying that?
I don't know.
Pretty sure he has 7 rings.
Yeah.
He helped the Lakers win their first ever championship. I actually never watched any of his stuff, to be honest with you.
Nope, me either.
I know he is, but now I kind of want to. I mean, to be the logo, you got to be like.
You gotta be a dog. You gotta be
Right?
a dog. I mean, he is definitely, thought of as one of the best point guards of all time, and he's a Laker great all timer. So yeah, rest in peace to Jerry West. And it sucks. It sucks to see another legend go. I remember seeing him talking with Asur and Amon Thompson earlier this year.
You said obviously the meme of it. It's like when you're talking to Professor Oak.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get your Pokédex.
Where you get your Pokédex. Yeah, that's true. But
That's true.
Shout out to Jerry West. R.I.P. He had a great career. He did a lot for the game. He's a good ambassador of the league, and and he will be missed by many.
Well, dude, when he obviously was like no longer a player, I don't know if people know this, but he was very hands-on with a lot of like the Clippers during like their successful runs, the Lakers as well. Like he's been hands-on in the game of basketball beyond obviously like being a player too. A lot of the greats, I don't know if you ever catch it in interviews and whatnot, but they always say I had this conversation with Jerry. Jerry told me this, Jerry told me that. He's truly, it's crazy too, because like, I don't know, especially being out in LA, you feel like that would come with more like more like glitz and glamour about it too. But no, he was kind of behind the scenes doing it all. Not a lot of people know about that stuff.
Yeah, he was hands-on with a lot of players, a lot of young players in the league, like helping them, giving them tips. I always saw him around rookies and stuff like that, just passing on wisdom. And you'd always see the highlights or the pictures of these young guys putting it up on their Instagram and stuff, like just talk with fucking Jerry West, like the logo. And so yeah, he seemed like a great guy. I'm sure he'll be missed by a lot. And him and Bill Walton, pretty close together, man. It's sad to lose a couple legends for the league.
Yeah, during the NBA Finals too. And another thing about Jerry West is like, he had impact on every level of the game. And I know you guys mentioned that being a player and an executive, but also he was a guy who got Shaq to LA. Like, think about how much that changes the history of the NBA. I mean, he's been behind so many big moments in basketball. He gave his life to basketball, and he is worthy of being the logo. He is every bit as impactful, and his legacy will forever be in the game. So rest in peace, Jerry West, to one of the biggest icons in NBA history.
9 finals appearances, 1 championship in 1972.
Yeah, as a player.
Is insane. Yeah, as a player.
Only 1 championship?
Yeah, 1972.
Oh, damn. I thought he had 7 of them.
No. Remember, he kept losing to the Celtics. Him and Wilt kept losing to the Celtics.
Yeah, it is just 1.
Crazy. I remember him. Yeah, he was kind of mad about how the Lakers did him in that HBO series, Showtime.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks for him.
Throughout his career
RIP,
average.
Great guy.
Sorry, I don't have headphones in. But throughout his career, he averaged 27 points and 6 assists in the game. And 5.8 rebounds, too.
He's a bucket.
He's a big guard. He was a big guard.
Oh my God.
Where was it? MBWMU said he traded for Kobe too. Yeah, he made the draft day trade to get Kobe Bryant to LA. So, you could arguably say that he's done more for the Lakers than anybody ever. Acquiring Kobe Bryant, acquiring Shaquille O'Neal,
bringing championships.
Bringing championships back to LA is something that can't be belittled in the association. So.
And quickly too, one more thing is think about the Lakers' history. Like they came from Minneapolis, and that's right as they came from Minneapolis is when they got Jerry West. So like he was really the foundation. I know, Magic, the Showtime, all of that, but he was really the start in the grassroots of the Lakers becoming the historic powerhouse that they were. I don't think they have this legacy that they have, the glitz and glamour that the Lakers have without those Jerry West years early on, or even with Wilt, but without Jerry, I don't think they have that same cachet that they have now. So, rest in peace to Jerry West.
Rest in peace to true legend. What did he actually pass away from? Because I remember obviously Asar just had his rookie season. We remember him having conversations with him as early as last year. Like what actually happened? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate because I don't know. So,
Well, rest in peace, Jerry West. I don't know the validity of this, or it happening or not, and maybe you guys can fill me in. You've been probably more in touch throughout the day. Tingus Pingus is now questionable.
Mm-hmm.
This is Vegas. This is gamesmanship. This is all that messy stuff. I mean, look, if ChatGPT doctors are saying that this man's going to be out a minimum of 4 to 12 weeks, I can't imagine he's day to day. Especially I don't see this injury. I think they're trying to kind of downplay it, and maybe he gives it some type of go. I don't know, but it sounds really dangerous because what it is it keeps that ankle in place.
Yeah.
So you're just with every step and with his frame, in the jumping that he does, the rim protection, the shot blocking, all of that, you're talking about any play, you could just snap your ankle and be done for not only the rest of this finals, but all of next year. So I don't know. I don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume he's going to go out there. I think he would be, told by doctors and by his doctor and by his agent, don't go out there. I know it's the finals but if he was on the court and I'm the Mavs, I'm ISOing him out on the perimeter against Kyrie or Luka and seeing if he can move laterally.
True ankle break.
Luka legit breaks an ankle.
I mean, that's exactly what I would do if I was the Mavs and they send him out there without a joint connecting his ankle. I'm putting him out there against Kyrie and saying, see if he can laterally move with you.
Yeah, even if he is healthy, I mean, you can't throw him out there. He's playing on one leg.
Yeah.
And like you said, you got Kyrie and Luka, who are two of the best ball handlers in the league. I mean, if you ISO him on Kristaps, it's over.
Yeah.
Can't play him.
I mean, immediately when he went down the first time, he obviously didn't go down, he got back up, but he's completely ineffective at that point. Outside of maybe offensively, had he gotten the ball, got an opportunity to showcase he still could be effective that side of the ball. I wasn't really rooting. I kind of was, actually. I'm kind of rooting against you in this.
Me?
And your Tatum hate and the wings when you ring shit that you try to bring it up. So, for the validity of that.
What do you mean me?
When he went down, I was like.
You brought that up.
Yeah.
No, you brought it up.
That's been your whole.
Oh, no, that's my
mantra.
thing. I'm saying you've been attacking it. You've been attacking that and Jason Tatum. So that's what I'm saying. I'm rooting against you.
Tatum's a bitch.
That's why I'm rooting for the Celtics. That's why I don't know if you guys got confused in that one. But either way, completely ineffective in the game at that point. It was just. He should have been on the court at that point. And I'm wondering if that's his effectiveness now. Maybe he should just wait it out until maybe he feels a little bit better because it was kind of useless.
Yeah, I saw I was watching The Herd at the gym, and they put up a graphic of the Celtics with and without Porzingis on the court, and it was their net rating with Porzingis on the court is plus 25, and their net rating without him is plus 2. So
damn, still plus.
Yeah, but they weren't playing against Luka and Kyrie without him.
Still plus. He also was coming off the bench too. Only playing 20 minutes.
Well, just to ease him back, remember he hadn't played in months, and it was basketball, playoff basketball. So this guy
for sure, but just 20 minutes off the bench, I don't know how much it was. Obviously going to affect them, right? But
he had the highest plus minus though of
especially
any
after
Celtic.
hearing the net ratings.
Yeah, that was net like efficiency.
Yeah.
The plus minus, they were even plus minus without him, and they were like plus 14 or plus 30 something with him on the court.
Yeah.
And so like he is their rim. They don't have a rim protector on the team other than him.
It's not necessarily,
Especially
it's over,
with Time Lord, as a Piston apparently.
Could be. Don't give my hopes up.
I do want to say something real quick. I watched this movie last night. I know it sounded like it was gonna be something serious when
Yeah, it did.
but one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Dennis Villeneuve is probably the best director in the game right now. He's done things like Blade Runner, obviously Dune 2. He did Interstellar, and he did Sicario. And I watched
Who's next up once the Go retires?
Yeah, who? Scorsese?
No.
Tarantino.
Tarantino.
Yeah, that's fair. I watched Sicario last night.
The OG?
Yeah.
Bro.
If you haven't seen Sicario, dude, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. My guy, Sicario. It's about like a Mexican cartel, the Mexican cartel, and like this guy, the main character. Well, he's like a kind of the main character. Emily Blunt's kind of the main character too, but his wife, he worked for the Colombian cartel, and his wife and daughter were killed by the Mexican cartel, and so now the CIA uses him to go after dudes in the Mexican cartel, and it is fucking dope, dude. Like, it's like if you like Dune 2 and Interstellar, the way this guy Dennis Villeneuve shoots movies and like how all of the scenes are filmed and the lighting and the symbolism.
Who did Dune 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that the symbolism behind all of the different shots, dude. Such a good movie, man.
That sounds like the exact plot line of Red Dead, right? Isn't it the same thing of like you Red Dead Redemption, the video game, where it's like the first one with John Marston, where you kind of like they held his family hostage and he had to go hunt his former like outlaws?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Is kind of that premise?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm all in.
It's amazing. Yeah, Benicio del Toro, Silky Johnson said he's the main character. Like I said, he's kind of the main character. Emily Blunt's kind of the main character too. But it was fucking dope.
Talk about
I love
anxiety.
revenge movies, man.
Anxiety watching a movie, edge of the seat, like what the fuck's
the
gonna
whole
happen.
time from the opening scene.
My bad, easy.
From the opening scene until the last
Don't
scene,
give me
you're
too
like,
much. Now I want to watch it.
You're like, oh fuck! Like it's on Amazon. It's free on Amazon.
Oh, I'm watching it tonight.
The Boys 3 episodes drop tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm
man.
hyped for that. I might
At
have
first, my dumb ass was tripping out because like season 5 is the last season. I forgot this is season 4. You watched The Boys, Caleb?
Elgato says
dude,
the ending was
amazing
savage.
show.
Yeah, it was.
We're not talking about the ending. We're done talking
that.
about the movie. I want to know about it. I want to go into it and be fucking. Whoa!
Yeah,
I love a good revenge movie though.
Sick argument says it's like Spenny just found Fargo and is enlightening the world. I'm not enlightening anybody. I just watched the movie and it was fucking dope. Sorry I didn't see it when I came out, you jabronis. It was great.
Whoa.
I was definitely sleeping though. I guess there's a second one too. Second one didn't look as good as the first one, but
No, I have to try to say the same thing for the third time because you keep talking over me, you piece of shit. Fuck you, Spinny.
Hey Caleb, you watch The Boys?
I haven't yet, but I've only heard good things about
Oh,
it.
dude, you should check it out. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Really
I think
sick.
I've seen clips on like TikTok and stuff.
Oh yeah,
But on TikTok, you could watch full episodes of things now.
yeah. There's Homelander clips all over the place. He's a psycho.
Yeah.
TikTok shows full episodes now?
What was that?
You
You said
just
TikTok
go
shows full episodes now?
Well, there's accounts that will like clip like 60
Oh,
seconds at
I
a
see what
time, and there
you're
will be
saying,
like 60 videos.
Yeah, you can do like you can do like an hour-long post on TikTok now or something.
It's
That's
insane.
unnecessary.
You get roped into part 1, part 2, part 3. You know, it's crazy.
That's happened to me on YouTube Shorts.
Caleb.
I think I've watched all of Young Sheldon on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
I've watched like all of Young Sheldon on Facebook. Like scrolling through Facebook videos, it'll pop up and it's like the dad in Young Sheldon's Bill Ponderosa from Always Sunny. And so I was like, hey, it's Pondy. And then I watched a couple episodes and it was funny.
Well, tell us about Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of that for just $10 a month. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by, more than 50 in Metro Detroit, and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Dude, there's this...
I love Woodward Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
What up, and welcome to Whatever Waits live on woodsports.com. I'm Easy, joined by Spimo Rex.
Hello.
Young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Detroit Mario.
Let's go.
Caleb in the building.
What's going on?
Did you feel this one out? Oh, you did.
I did.
Jace Young, 2 more dongs.
Yeah.
I seen it.
Yeah, Jace Young hit 2 dongs last night for Toledo. I thought he should have been the call-up when Javi got sent to the 10-day DL. They bring up Kreidler, who, I mean, he got a walk, but he also blew the play at short to give away the lead
Basically.
in the 8th inning. Why wasn't it Jace Young? And are you starting to question this front office's decision-making?
Personally, I think it should have been Jace Young. I don't think there's any way around it. If this team lacks hitting, why wouldn't you bring up your best hitter that's in AAA? I could care about Ryan Kreidler's defense, especially after he is the one who I would say lost that game for us. We were driving home yesterday. Dan Dickerson on the radio sounded disgusted when he saw Ryan Kreidler's first swing. Guess what? Half little cut back to the pitcher. What are we doing here? We know this team fails to score runs, and we don't bring up our best hitter. Yeah, he doesn't play shortstop. I don't care. Put McKinstry there, put Ibanez there, or put Perez there. I think that was a big mistake by this front office. What do you think, Caleb?
Well, Scott Harris's whole thing was the reason he didn't pick up these free agents is because he didn't want to take at-bats away from the young guys. So why are we not calling up Jace Young and let him cook? We're having Gio Urshela take his at-bats away. I know Gio Urshela right now is probably our best hitter. Mm-hmm. But why not put Young at third, and then you can move Gio Urshela to short? I mean, who cares at this point?
You got a lot of guys that can play those the middle infield positions.
Yeah.
Whether it be Gio Urshela or Ibanez or McKinstry or any of those guys, you can put them in that middle infield spot if you want to
sell and signing those guys. The fact they're so versatile.
They can do so many different things. If you want to keep Jace Young at third, which you should, bring him up though. You get rid of Ibanez, you get rid of Baez to put him on the 10-day IL, and you bring up a guy with a worse OPS in the minors. Like what the fuck are we doing here? I don't understand it. Jace Young has been mashing in the minors. Like I said, last night, 2 more dongs. I don't understand why he wasn't the call-up. I thought he should have been the call-up. I thought it was paved. Like, this was your guy. This was your first-round draft pick. This is a guy that's supposed to be the future at third base, and you just decided to go with Kreidler, who played 45 at-bats and got hurt. It doesn't make sense to me.
Would Jung have been, if you got to pick, so before Malloy got called up, if you got to pick between them two, which one would you have taken?
I would have taken Young. I would have taken Young. I would have, because I had more I want him to get the experience more than I do Justin Henry Malloy.
Yeah.
No hate to him, but I don't see him being a cornerstone piece of this team in the future. I see Jace Young being a cornerstone piece of this future. Like I said, he's your first round pick. He's supposed to be your future third baseman. Give him some at bats. He's been mashing. He's earned them.
I think Malloy had almost 3 times the amount of at-bats in AAA, so
yeah.
I felt comfortable bringing up Malloy because we've seen his plate discipline play at the AAA level. We've yet to see him really get in stride when it comes to actually hitting the ball, but obviously he's been able to take a walk, which this team has failed to do so often. But like we all said, Jace Young, you can absolutely rake And that's what we're missing on this team. How do you bring up Ryan effing Kreidler, who can't hit a ball to save his life? That's what we're bringing in for Baez. Just doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't make sense at all. All right, next question of Around the Diamond.
It is his first year in Toledo.
It is his first year in Toledo, but he's been mashing. So you don't need to stay in Toledo for a whole year.
And it's not like he's 20 years old. He's 23.
Yeah. Torque's mashing.
Torque's mashing. Parker Meadows is mashing.
We know what they were in the big leagues.
Yeah, well, give him a shot. We know what
do you got to
Kreidler
lose?
was. It's not like this is Kreidler's first time in the big leagues. He's gotten up here before, and he was fucking dog water. So, like, at least give the kid who has a lot more prospect going forward, who has a lot more projection of being a talent. And I don't know. I don't understand that decision to bring up Kreidler over him. But next up, we talked about potential trades, potential situations. Flat out, would you rather buy for bats at the deadline or sell guys like Flaherty and Mark Canha?
I would rather buy at the deadline because I think that this team is just a couple bats away from being actual contenders in the wild card spot, and we keep going over this and over this. It's our pitching is elite. Those top three guys. You think about Skubal, we're all expecting a big bounce back outing from Reese Olson after the two extremely poor ones, but I think you have to buy at the deadline. We have a top 5 prospect pool in all of baseball. You trade some of those pitching prospects for some actual big league hitters. That's what I would do, and I would immediately extend Jack Flaherty as long as you get the okay that his back is fine.
Immediately extend Flaherty.
If his back will hold up, and we know that going into it, I would immediately extend him for at least 2 seasons. We've seen what Fetter did to Flaherty. He's back. So that's what I would do.
Aren't these one and the same, though? Like aren't these guys you're looking at moving to get a respectable bet?
I mean, you're thinking about selling or you're buying. So if I'm buying, I'm re-extending, or I'm extending Flaherty, and then I'm buying an actual big league bat that will help
Who are
this
you
team
giving
win.
up to buy the bat, though, I guess, at that point?
Ty Madden.
Because Flaherty seems like the most, again, we don't know if you're extending him. He's on that type of contract. Like, he seems like...
I would extend him because I think he can be a piece of this team's future.
And you're selling prospects then?
I would sell Ty Madden, a pitching prospect that is in our top 10. And he obviously you're not giving up the elite guy in Jackson Jobe, but Ty Madden's well renowned.
Caleb?
I think I'm personally swapping Flaherty for a bat, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, obviously Ty Madden's a good name. Sawyer Gibson-Long, who I think is hurt right now, but that's another name, a pitching prospect we have that we could, trade. But I mean, back to like buying and selling, you need to buy at the deadline. It's been years since this team has been competitive.
7 years.
And there's not going to be crazy names at the deadline that you can go and get. Luis Robert is probably out of the question. He's in the division, and that's going to be a haul. The White Sox are going to get a haul for him. But I don't know. Just go get someone. Trade a top 5 prospect. Flip the guy we got from God, who did we trade last? Lorenzen. Yeah, trade him. I mean, we'll see. But I definitely want to buy at the deadline.
We asked people this yesterday. It's not on the list, but you weren't in the chair. Would you trade Torkelson? Would you give up on Torkelson?
I think it's beneficial for both sides if he trade Torkelson. I think he needs a new,
scenery.
New scenery, new place to play. Just a team that wants to take a flyer on him and give him some at bats, see if he could get his power back. It's just not working out here.
So would you trade like Torkelson and Matt Manning for Brent Rooker?
Brett Rook, he's 28, right? Rooker?
Yeah, I think so.
And you said Matt Manning too?
Yeah.
Yes, I probably would, just because we're not using Matt Manning.
He's
I think, yeah, but I think I would, just because you're not using Matt
29.
Manning. 29?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, sign Torkelson. They're moving to Vegas. Maybe make Torkelson the face of your franchise. Former #1 overall pick, slugged in college. I think that's a good move, actually.
Right now, he's hitting 263. He's got an 868 OPS. Dude's got 13 home runs, 40 RBIs. He would be the best hitter on the roster.
He would be the best hitter on our team. I just looked at our lineup today. We don't have a guy over an 800 OPS. I think Riley Green's at 793.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You need a hitter. You need a hitter in the middle of the lineup you can rely on. Like yesterday during the game, we had the extra inning runner, and we have the middle of our order: Riley Green, Gio Urshela up to bat, and Mark Canha. Gio Urshela Riley Green looks at a fastball right at his nuts, strike 3. Gio Urshela swings through a fastball right down the middle to end the game. That's the middle of your order.
Mm-hmm.
We need, Brent Rooker
Brent
would be a
Rooker
good
could be a guy you could put in the 4-hole every day.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if that's the guy you're getting back, I don't like giving up on Torkelson yet. I really don't. But I mean, I don't know. I'm conflicted on that one. All right. Next question of Around the Diamond. Who was the bigger flash in the pan for the Tigers this year? Matt Vierling or Wencel Perez? Start, Nick.
I'm going with Wencel Perez here, fellas. I thought he was a keeper, and you need guys like that to come out of nowhere and actually be a mainstay in your organization and in your big league lineup. And we were all hoping that he was a mainstay because we needed bats so much. I thought Perez was going to be a keeper. He seems like he is on a clear downslide. That's what because I knew what Matt Vierling was.
Yeah.
And Perez would have been the bigger flash in the pan in my eyes.
What Nick said, the Perez thing kind of hurt because he felt like something for a minute.
Yeah, when you get a guy, it was the Wencel Perez had the same effect as Akil Baddoo did when he came up. You come up and 7 of his first 9 swings, go either out of the ballpark or drive in runs, and you're like, oh shit, this is what we need. Sparks the offense. Him alone gives you a couple wins, and then he gets back to earth, and I think he's hitting like 240 now, and he doesn't really have the pop anymore. While Vierling is, we know what Matt Vierling is. He's a solid hitter. He's a solid, you can either put him in the top of the order or the bottom of the order. He'll hit around 260 on the year. I think Wencel Perez was kind of a flash in the pan. Unfortunately, Vierling just got hot for a couple weeks, but he's going to be the guy that he is.
Has Flannel come to collect on that one yet?
Who, Vierling?
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's still hitting 270.
Yeah. Caleb?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think when Wencel Perez was hot, it was like, holy shit, we finally hit on someone.
Yeah.
Finally. Climb up the minors, came up, was electric. And then, I mean, now he's hitting like 127 in June. So, and Matt Vierling's still a good baseball player. I mean, he can play everywhere on the diamond.
Plays a damn good center field.
Yeah, and he robbed a home run the other day.
Yeah.
He hits the ball hard. And, yeah, I mean, and who do we get Matt Vierling for? That was in the Gregory Soto trade.
Yep.
So, we want to trade. That's cool.
Yeah.
One good thing to happen to this team.
Yeah, we got him and Maton, I think.
Yeah.
But,
How about this comment from Alan W? Colt Keith has never hit a pitch over 97 miles per hour or over. But we signed to a mega deal.
Over.
He was decent for 2 weeks. Went right back to being mid.
It was a wild stat last
Damn,
night.
is that true?
Yeah.
Benetti said it on the broadcast.
Did he?
Who said it?
He hasn't hitting a pitch over 97 miles per hour last
The pitch or off his bat?
97 miles per hour from the pitcher.
Okay.
Like even in the minors too, or just
How many is
No,
he?
in the big leagues.
How many has he seen?
Exactly. So
yeah.
I don't know. That stat could be
That's a good question.
easily
How many
cherry-
pitches of
cherry-picking.
97 mile an hour has he seen? I'd have to see that before I get really concerned about it. I'm
fair.
fine with Colt Keith. He's struggling, but he is a legitimate rookie who has never seen, MLB pitching. So I'm not too worried about him. I have a lot of hope for him in the future.
That one hurt last night when he could have walked the game off. That would have been massive for his confidence moving forward. I like that AJ gave him a look there to get his confidence a boost, but it didn't work out. And then the Tigers fall back to 2 under 500. Obviously not a good look when it doesn't work out, but I mean, hopefully Colt Keith can hit it moving forward. Do you have confidence that he will, Caleb?
He's definitely frustrating to watch because that is your 8-year guy. You signed him for 8 years. But yeah, I mean, he's made adjustments to his swing. You could tell like his load and everything. I mean, he's so young. Like you said, it's his actual rookie year. This is his first time seeing big league pitching. And yeah, I have confidence in him. And he's been playing a damn good second base too. I mean, a couple errors, but and that was supposed to be the knock on him, that he wasn't a good second baseman. But yeah, he'll be fine. He just needs hitters around him too. He needs veteran hitters that are actually hitting to show him a good approach at the plate. Right now his veterans are Javi Baez and whoever. So I don't know, with good enough coaching, good enough people around him, and I think he'll be fine.
He is a guy that you truly like. When people are giving this excuse for Torkelson, I didn't agree with it, but he was a guy that needed to be insulated in the offense. He was a guy that needed to have, he needed to have either a guy in front of him or behind him that he could rely on because he is truly a rookie. Torkelson didn't need that. I'm not giving Torkelson that excuse. I will give Keith that excuse. Tell us, what is it, the break? Tell us about the morning show, Nick.
When you wake up every morning, make sure you are immediately putting on Wake Up Woodward, the best morning show in the country. Every single morning, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG. Every morning is to cover all of Detroit sports, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports, best show in the country. Check it out.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had to spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast and convenient first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. So with 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
What up, and welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodWardSports.com. I'm Easy, joined by Spinmo Rax,
What up, though?
Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, aka Detroit Mario. We got Caleb in the building.
Let's go.
Just got done talking a little bit of baseball. One thing you probably didn't think you'd see too often on the show, but they're conversation worthy. And around the diamond makes it a lot easier too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Great topic by you, Spinny.
Thank you.
But now, moment you've all been waiting for. Detroit Lions talk. A bunch of coaches met with the media yesterday, both offensive and defensive. I figured today we do a defensive day just because there's a lot more new faces on there, right? You got Terrell Williams, you got Jim O'Neill. I came in today before the show. Nick, Spinny, I think Chris. Who's Jim O'Neill? Who's Jim O'Neill? Today we get to meet Jim O'Neill. We won't meet him, but yeah, you know who the fuck he is by the end of it.
Where is
Jim O'Neill's here?
now, behind curtain number one.
He comes up to John Cena song.
Yeah.
Either way,
time is now.
here's your new defensive line coach. Your highly praised defensive line coach, one that's been called the best in the league by Dan Campbell and many others. Terrell Williams on the advancements of Aiden Hutchinson.
How much better can he be as another year? Can he do it on his own, or does he need help on the other side or someone inside?
Well,
Can he do it on his own?
I don't know who can do it on their own. I mean, I've coached some really good players, and those players, if they're honest, will admit that they need other people. And so Hutch has been. He's been unbelievable this offseason, and I think he's made huge strides from the time I arrived and to where we are now. And it's not me, it's him studying tape. It's him asking questions. He's everybody sees a big, tall 97 with long arms and Mr. Michigan and all this other stuff. But what you don't see is the time that this guy puts in, and he's constantly asking questions and studying tape and studying other players and working on his craft, and he is an extremely coachable player. Like, I love the guy because of what he's about. Like, he's about getting better. He's not about the glamour and glitz. He's just a grinder, and we need a lot more guys that have that mentality.
It seems like going.
And that's what we've been saying. I mean, this guy did need some help. It was embarrassing what he was lined up with at the end of the year last year. Once Aleem McNeil went down, there was no other threat to get to the passer on that defensive line. And now you brought in guys that are going to insulate him. You brought in guys that are going to help him, that are going to take some attention away from him, so he's not getting double teamed and chipped by a tight end or a running back every single pass snap. I love to hear what we already knew from a guy new to the organization, a guy that gets his first look at Hutch in this training camp, is why Dan Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes fell in love with him, why they drafted him, because that's who he is. He is a grinder. He is that guy. He is going to go out there, he's going to put his nose down, and he's going to get to work. And that fits the narrative of Dan Campbell guys, of Brad Holmes guys. And when your best player on your defense is doing that, it exudes to the rest of the defense. When James Houston and Marcus Davenport and these guys see Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 overall pick, the guy who is top 5 rated defensive end, if you talk to some people in the NFL, go out there and play like that at every facet, every snap, every practice, it's going to make them go harder too. It's the same effect with Amon-Ra St. Brown. When you got a first-team All-Pro out there catching 202 balls after every single practice, it makes the other guys want to work that much harder.
Yeah, for me, the thing that caught my attention was the thing you said in the very beginning. It's the thing that a lot of us kind of been preaching here for Aiden Hutchinson is the help. The help. He said even the best would have to admit to you that it wasn't just them alone. There wouldn't be a Valini without a Foster beforehand. There wouldn't be. They all go together. They all go hand in hand, right? Spaghetti and meatball, tuna and fish, whatever analogy you like to use. But I think you finally have that this year. And then you have a guy that's also dealt with unlocking like these variables too. I think Hutch is pairing, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Nick on this one because he brought it up when he was on last Friday. DJ Reader was the guy that played alongside a JJ Watt, right? And as William said there, you hear the greats tell you it wasn't just me alone. This is a guy that's already worked alongside a great in DJ Reader that they brought in, and now you have an excellent offensive or defensive line coach to help aid that too. I think we might see the Hutch unlocked.
Speaking of Hutch unlocked, that's where I want to go with this. One of the things he said at the beginning is that he's been unbelievable. Next statement, and he's made huge strides already. For a guy that is already at Hutch's caliber to be making huge strides already with this new defensive line coach, we're gonna see Hutch unlocked. This is his 3rd season. I expect a massive leap, and for him to become from being a good player to an absolute superstar in this league, that's where I think his trajectory is headed.
And another thing before we go to the next video is we talked about getting him help on the defensive line, also getting him help in the defensive backfield. Getting him guys that aren't going to get burnt by their wide receiver off the line as soon as the ball is snapped. Getting him guys that aren't going to give up the most yards in in defensive coverage in the NFL. Cam Sutton. Giving him guys that will give him that extra half second to turn 7 of those 100+ pressures he had into sacks, and that's a big help as well.
And the next clip, I mean, it's kind of just him reiterating the same things, and this one goes along with just like the versatile pieces we have on this defensive line too, because now you have James Houston, who's a speedster off the line. You have Hutch to give it all. You have Davenport, who's just like a muscle-bound freak when healthy, obviously. Lee McNeil, we expect to rush the passer. Then my favorite, one of my up-and-coming favorites, I assume he's going to be one of my favorites, Mekhi Wingo.
With Wingo and Onwuzurike a little bit on the edge, Dan said that's to make it so you have to rush fewer in some situations. What is the value of having, I guess, the flexibility where you can have some of those 3-man heavy fronts to give you some schematic flexibility?
Sometimes rushing a passer is pairing up the certain guys with certain players, and if you got a guy that's a speed guy and he runs, up the field, then you need a guy opposite him that can crush the pocket so we don't create big seams in there. So I've always liked to put bigger guys on the edges sometimes and put some of the smaller guys inside. So it'll be fun because I do think that we have some flexibility with our personnel and what they're able to do now.
And you look at his track record of guys that he's done this with, like Danico Autry, like Jeffrey Simmons, like dudes that are not on paper the sack artist or the best edge rusher, but like he said, matchups make the man. You put them in advantageous matchups to where they can use the things that they do best to get to the quarterback. We're gonna see Hutch on the inside making some moves. We're gonna see a guy like Levi or even Wingo on the outside using that bull rush to get a tackle off of his back foot. You put these guys in the best situations for them, and you can't keep feeding this offensive line on the opposing team the same look over and over and over, because they'll just fall into that same scheme, same blocking pattern, and they'll get in a rhythm. You switch things up, you do some stunts, you move some things around, and the big uglies on the offensive line, they get startled. They're not ready for it, and that's how you get some of those cheap sacks.
And maybe that's the genius in this guy, right? Like just chefing up what's the defensive line to put out there and what's down, like who's working what side. Watching the offensive tape to see what type of guys these offensive linemen struggle against and where you're going to match them up. Because don't forget, Aiden Hutchinson, another guy you play inside as well. He did his rookie year.
Yeah.
I think he did at times in Michigan. Like it just keeps everything fresh. And not just like the looks itself, but even the players mismatching it too. And I think, again, that's going to be some of the genius that we see from Terrell Williams, at least that I hope to see. And this part is just for selfish reasons. I want to see some hype about Mekhi Wingo. Go ahead.
You mentioned it earlier with J.J. Watt. Like, J.J. Watt played every single position on the offensive line.
Yeah.
He would play in the inside. He would play on the outside. He would play on the strong side. He would play on the weak side. You can move him around. So you find I can't remember what movie it's from, but that's my bitch. Like, that's what I want Hutch to do, to hunt out the weakest link of that offensive line and fucking attack him. Like, that's my bitch. I'm going to be on your ass all fucking day, 77, and get after that guy. Put him in the best situation for him to kill the quarterback every single snap.
And again, this next one, selfish reasons. Mekhi Wingo telling you he's coming.
Broderick stands out there. Wingo stands out in a different way, right? And he's not shied away from it. He's been a small defensive tackle for his entire life. I'm just wondering, what players have you coached that have maybe had that size, that skill set? And, is there a trick to finding out the best fit for that player within your scheme?
Yeah, I don't want to really compare him, make comparisons, because we start thinking, well, this player should be like that player. The one thing I'll say is that he's an explosive player that understands what his limits are, and he also understands what he can use to his advantages. And so he's an explosive guy that's extremely quick hands. He can rush the passer, and I believe he'll be a good run defender for us. So I'm excited. I mean, where we got him and what he's been able to do so far, I'm super excited about that player.
I've had to hold myself back. At least I try to at times, because like some of this with this franchise specifically, it feels just too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Like even this past draft.
Holy shit, they did it again.
Yeah, like finding Mekhi Wingo and Mahogany at the back end of the draft, too good to be true. Terrion Arnold falling all the way to 23, and then our GM making the move to go get him and only giving up the third round, too good to be true. I try to reserve like the way I feel, because it feels too good. It feels like a fucking dream. Mekhi Wingo, I think, is going to be an absolute dog. And to hear a guy, again, that's been revered as the best defensive line coach in the league, to say, yeah, I'm excited about that player, as well as some of the attributes he's given you, but you guys already knew that. We've already told you that, right? He had the second fastest 10-yard split in this year's draft class. It's comparable to those of Kalaji Kancey. And this is the excitement where I try to hold it back, but these are the comps when you look at defensive tackles that are off the line like that. Aaron Donald. I'm not telling you he's going to be these guys, but he's going to give you something. He's going to give you something, and he's going to match them against, again, like we said, pair him along against the offensive line where he's going to fit best. And, by the way, he happens to have DJ Reed on that same defensive line, Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive line, and Lee on the defensive line, too. This is a guy they're going to find his spots, and I have a pretty good feeling he's going to eat.
Yeah, it's the versatility that they love, that they talk about, that they preach. And look at all of the guys littered around this defensive line that have that versatility, whether it be John Kaminsky, whether it be Josh Pascal, whether it be Betts, whether it be Wingo. Like, those are a lot of guys that you could put in a lot of different spots that can fill a hole if you're trying to move your centerpiece, your Aiden Hutchinson to this side. You got, okay, we can put Kaminsky at the other end. Okay, we can put this guy over there because he can do anything. You can put him anywhere, and he's gonna play his role and do his job. And that's why they're so adamant in getting guys with that kind of versatility, so you can have fun, so you can get freaky, so you can do weird stuff to put your best players in great positions. You got a guy filling in that other position. Like, okay, I trust him. He's done it before.
Amen.
Dan Campbell does not bullshit, fellas, and he told you that this is the best defensive line coach in the NFL. You have so much talent on that D-line that maybe has yet to be unlocked. You think about these 2 second-rounders in Levi and Pascal. Can they hit a different level? You talked about Wingo already, 6th rounder that dropped to you. You talk about another late-round pick in James Houston. Can he unlock all of these players to, at the beginning of this segment, like we said, give Hutch the help? Because all great pass rushers need help. We didn't even mention DJ Reader and Aleem. Can these other guys take a next step with the best defensive line coach in the league? I think they can, and it's going to be scary for other teams opposing offensive lines.
I agree.
It's going to be very scary. They need their backups, they need the reserves. Stop what we got coming up. They need insurance.
They're going to need some insurance for sure.
Insurance, and they might call the best. It's Mark, 313-530-1698. That's Mark with Swiss Insurance. He's the best in the game. Make sure those deductibles aren't climbing up you. Make sure the rates aren't doing the same. That's Mark at Swiss Insurance, 313-530-1698.
The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Grab your celebrities and grab your golf clubs and come swing them with Tim at the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. It's the one and only lead sales rep at DWSN. What the hell am I doing? WSN, Tim McCollum. What up? Welcome back to Whatever Waits Live on WoodsportsCom. I'm your boy Easy Joe, my guy Spimo Rex, young Chris Nicholas Kohloff, aka Detroit Mario.
Let's
You got
go.
Caleb with the Billy cutting up the clips. Make sure you guys give him a follow. I'm carrying on the hype machine here. It's your fault that I smoked before the show. I almost said D. I said W there. I'm not recovering from that well.
Yeah, why didn't you hit me up?
It's very bothering. I did. No. I replied, and you didn't say nothing.
No.
You said you want to marry that one person.
Rip. I do want to marry her. I literally am in love with her.
Guess who I had to smoke with alone?
Brady?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
Dude, I know. You're so fucking creepy.
Oh, why is Brady catching
All right, before the show started, I talked to Chris about uploading the clips of Jim O'Neill. And everyone's like, who the fuck's Jim O'Neill? Who the fuck's Jim O'Neill? This is Jim O'Neill, new Detroit Lions defensive assistant, and sounds like he's going to be the safety coach.
Let me talk to you.
And so what do you sort of see your role as sort of providing to the guys and the coaches and the players?
Yeah, I think I've had every title on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL, D coordinator, secondary coach, linebacker coach, everything except D-line. But right now I'm assistant Shea and I'm coaching the safeties.
So there you have it. Jim O'Neill looking like he's going to be your safeties coach, if not just assistant to Deshae Townsend. He's been the former defensive coordinator for Northwestern. He was a former defensive coordinator for San Francisco at the time, or I think in 2016. He's been elsewhere too as position coaches, but here's the guy leading the safety room. And the reason why obviously he becomes relevant, one, obviously I'd like to introduce you guys to him. This is my buddy Jim. We've been friends a long, long time. He's a great guy to me. However, we just have some dog-ass safeties in this room. At least I perceive it that way. I think I've been very vocal on the Kirby Joseph stuff. I think he's slandered to the highest degree. It's just wild, some of the things I hear you guys say about him. And I'm not attacking everybody, but just the people who have crazy things to say about Kirby. And then another guy who's going to drop back in that safety position that I'm getting pushed back on that as well, Brian Branch. But he's going to be hands-on with some of the more exclusive or I'd say playmaking guys on this defense. And he had this to say about Brian Branch.
More good to see Brian maybe potentially be back there switching roles between the nickel and safety. And how interchangeable are those positions in you guys' defense, that safety and nickel?
Well, I think if you asked AG, would he prefer his nickel come from the safety position or the corner position, he's going to say over his history, he's preferred it from the safety position because of how much we ask those guys to get into the run fit. I think, obviously, in my opinion, the nickel position is one of the hardest positions to play in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball, just because you got to cover like a corner, you got to fit the run like a linebacker, and you got to communicate and do multiple jobs like a safety. So I think last year they were a little more hesitant with BB to just kind of fix him at one spot. Whereas now that he's going into year 2, I think we'll be more aggressive with him. And I mean, he's the type of player you want to see out there on all 3 downs. So we're going to push him to that. But at the end of the day, he's still got to come out in training camp and he's got to take that job.
How good do you think he could be?
Brian Branch? Yeah. I think he could be really good. I think he could be one of the better ones in the league. Coming off the rookie campaign that he just had, some of the things he did coverage-wise, some of the things he did run-fit-wise, blitz-wise, I'm excited about him. I'm really excited about him.
You love to hear this from a guy like Jim O'Neill, who's been coaching. He's been around players like that for upwards of 20 years now. You know, he's been a defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been a defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. This guy has played or seen a lot of defensive football in his life. So when he gets his eyes on a guy that he likes, you got to think he knows what he's talking about and what's not to like about Brian Branch. That kind of leads me to believe that Brian Branch is going to stay at that nickel spot. Like what he said.
You really think so?
What he said about how AG likes safeties in the nickel spot more than corners. So I could see Brian Branch staying at that nickel spot, and then when they go without a nickel, like in a defensive formation without a nickel, then you bump Iffy out and move Brian Branch back to safety.
Well, I guess in fairness to you, there was one other piece of it where they kind of talk about Brian Branch making the safety change. And obviously, Dan Campbell at the owners meeting too. I see the exact opposite. I see Brian Branch, what they're trying to do is mold him into that safety position so he could be on the field at all times, kind of like we discussed after that 49ers game. They went heavy personnel offensively for a reason to keep that extra cornerback off the field. That extra cornerback at the time at nickel and slot was our guy Brian Branch, who's one of our biggest playmakers. I think they're trying to adjust him to that move at safety, which, by the way, the people, at least on Twitter today, and maybe it's just 1 or 2 guys, and so I don't want to attack everybody with it, but the people like that are opposed to it, brother, can I, like, the way we played it on here before too, maybe I have to find it again, but Alex Anzalone, when he spoke about Brian Branch and like his role as it developed throughout the season last year, he was kind of like able to roam and do what he does, right? That's what you look forward to in a strong safety. I also emphasize the strong safety because he's in competition with Fonte Melifonwu, as you heard that there too. It's not Kirby Joseph. That's your free safety. There's a difference between the two. Your strong safety is the guy you want. You want to be versatile. You want to be able to play the run and play the pass, whether it's against the guys on the inside, those slot guys, or help over the top, or tight ends and whatnot. But you want to be able to like play both. Brian Branch has already kind of been molded with that free roam to do whatever he wants. And this is, again, I'm not telling you he's going to be this guy, but the only way I can articulate it to you off the top of my head that everybody knows synonymously is a Troy Polamalu. A guy that you watch instinctually climb up to the front of the line if he wants to blitz, or even sell the blitz, or drop back into coverage, or just read the run. I look back to that Atlanta Falcons game that you and I went to, that you were barely alive for. But yeah, Brian Branch had, 17 tackles in that one? A couple TFLs? I think he may even had, no, I don't think he had a sack. But regardless, he was all over the place. That's the type of safety you're going to watch him be. He's going to be all over the field. It's like the Chinese lady, Asian lady. Maybe Chinese, something like that one. But everywhere, all at once, or whatever the hell that movie was called. That's what I expect Brian Branch to be at the safety position. Caleb, you look juiced up like you want to say something.
I'm so fired up about Brian Branch. It's crazy. You found yourself an absolute playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. I wish they could make some sort of position like they did with Jabril Peppers at Michigan, the Viper position. Just let him go out there and be a playmaker, be a football player, be an athlete like he is. Let him stop the run. Let him play in the box, but also let him drop in coverage. If nickel's the spot for him, that's fine, but I'd like to see him a lot more in like strong safety with him and Kirby back there. And then Iffy too. Iffy's a guy that's going to be hard to keep off the field. There's a lot of depth in that secondary, and I love it. I love it.
We talked about it with the defensive line a little bit too, but it goes with the secondary, the versatility of these guys to be able to play any fucking position out there. Like you could, if he's a former cornerback and you put him at safety, you've got guys that could do a lot of different things, put in a lot of different spots. Like Ennis Rakeshaw Jr. or Terrion Arnold or Amik Robertson could play on the outside. They could play on the inside. You can move guys around and do different things, and that's why they added so many people. There is depth. There is versatility, and you have high quality play. It's not depth like just bad players, a bunch of bad players out there. You've got quality depth out there. A bunch of guys who can do a lot of different things. High quality H2O. And I'm excited for Brian Branch to do whatever he can do to get on the field. Whether that's, like I said, play him at the nickel when you're doing your 5 defensive back, and then once you go back to normal. If they run tight, you bump Iffy off and you throw Brian Branch back at the strong safety spot. He is going to be on the field for a majority of defensive snaps this year. They're not going to let it happen how it happened last year, where he wasn't playing in certain position or in certain formations, because he is a top 3 defensive player on this team already. You need Brian Branch out there. He's a playmaker. He comes up with the ball. He lays the wood, and he does everything you want out of a guy. He's a freak when he's towards the line of scrimmage, and he's a monster in coverage. You need him on the field for a majority of the defensive snaps this year.
Yeah, that's why they're training him at safety. And then obviously they tried doing it last year. We could do both, but it was kind of too much to put on a rookie at the time. But I think another thing to point to him making the move to safety is just the correlating moves around it. The same way we saw Jameson Williams become a wide receiver too. You lost Josh Reynolds. Nothing else was made to replace him. Well, you address the cornerback room, and you got a guy that can play nickel, who's been playing nickel in camp so far, or no TAs, obviously. They didn't do anything to address the safety spot. It's Brian Branch. Brian Branch is going to be your safety.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out to me that he said was, we need aggression from the safety room. Brian Branch brings that aggression. The closing speed from Brian Branch is honestly scary. You think about Kirby's, the improvements he's made when it comes to actually coming up and hitting. You think about the rookies we just brought in. What are they known for? Coming up, tackling, hitting.
Carlton Davis.
This team is going to be so much better when it comes to coming up to the line of scrimmage and doing damage. Putting fear into wide receivers and running backs coming on the edge there. And I'm excited about it.
We talked about it when we broke down our favorite plays of the season last year. My favorite play of the season, I'm a little spoiled because we saw it in person, but it's when Brian Branch came down the field and decapitated Bijan Robinson in the flat. That is Bijan Robinson. This is the toted rookie, the dude that is supposed to be him, the next coming of Walter Payton, like the next giant running back. Brian Branch cracked his ass and knocked his helmet 20 yards back. It was an amazing snap to see. I loved it. Love Brian Branch. The kid's a freak. And talk about a Brad Holmes steal. This guy redraft, he's a top 15 pick. I fucking love it, dude.
You said a steal just now, and we'll tease this for tomorrow's show, but Chris Spillman did a podcast. Chris, he's never does it, but he did with his brother Rick and the other guy on CBS, and he said that may end up being Brad Holmes' best pick.
Very well could be.
It's Brian Branch.
Wow.
Yeah, we have more on that. More on Kirby Joseph that we didn't get to in the safety room, as well as jumping down to that mid-level and talking linebackers, but not before someone tells us about Les Stanford.
I'll tell you about Les Stanford. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. It's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service the customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today and find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford, together, let's ride.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza are taking over Michigan. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit, doubling their number of restaurants this year. Known for their quality, hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, delicious chicken sandwiches, and New York-style pizza. Be sure to stop in and try at a mega station near you or go to Sorokis.com.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights live on WorldSports.com. I'm Easy, joined by Spimo Rax.
What up, though?
Young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Detroit Mario. We got young Caleb in the building, too. Make sure you guys smash the like button for the Rook. The second start in the mound. Be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream as well. Caleb, anybody watching that, are you too nervous to say, hey, I'm going to be on the air today?
My coworkers knew. I send it to all my friends and stuff. It's cool, man. It's exciting. This is a cool opportunity.
Amen. I'm glad to have you, man. right as soon as I heard the news, I texted you like, yo.
Yeah,
let's link
dude.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sweet, dude.
I'll just tell you right now, because obviously we haven't met up like I've been planning to. I want you to be like, eventually down the line, once I need someone to help you out with clips too. But you ever see the Jimmy Kimmel show?
Yeah, Guillermo?
Yeah. I want you on the streets getting the opinion of the people. And
I can do that. You don't want me on the streets, man. It causes too much trouble.
No, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
You're like Spinny Light.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
Let's get it, man.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys smash that like button. I promise you a clip from Kirby Joseph. And just once more, too, for the people that kind of like, is it hate or just like undermine or just, I guess, don't know what they're watching when it comes to Kirby Joseph? Maybe I'm just a Kirby Joseph stan, but like he's overcompensating for a lot, or at least in the past year. Chris Platte actually had that to say too. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, like keep it honest with people because I respect him that much. Our team wasn't good.
Yeah.
Well, the defense, and obviously that's for the first year though. But either way, Kirby Joseph, this is your new safeties coach, Jim O'Neill on Kirby Joseph.
Didn't get a chance to see Kirby obviously on the field, but just the success he's had. I think back-to-back 400 interception seasons, which isn't easy to do as a young player in this league. Just where can he ascend to in this league with his ball skills and maybe some of his instincts?
Yeah, I mean, to me, he does the two best things you want out of a deep safety. He takes the ball away, and he makes the middle of the field a scary place. So, I mean, when you possess those two characteristics as somebody who's going to roam the deep part of the field, you're going to scare offensive players and you're going to scare quarterbacks. So he has those two traits. So it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be fun to work with him going into, the rest of his career here.
How important?
Why I said,
fuck you, Chris, I got you in this bitch. So disloyal. Disgusted. Carry on.
My best friend here.
Go ahead.
Go off, King.
Go ahead.
Don't go.
Dude, why do you do shit like that? If you're going to throw a fit, just do it. Talk. This is why I said Kirby Joseph is going to lead this league in interceptions this year. Is this guy, we know who he is. We know what he does. We know he is a playmaker. He's a ball hawk on that back end. We've seen him step up, make the tackles, do the helicopter. Like he is an all-around dog out there. He got exposed last year because of the people in front of him. He had to make up for them. That's why every time Dan Campbell stepped on that press conference, anytime they walked up there, they said, there are guys that are doing too much. There are guys going out there that are having to overcome because they're making up for other people. He was looking at Kirby Joseph because that's exactly what he's doing, because you have the guys in front of him in Cam Sutton and Kendall Vildor and Jerry Jacobs getting cooked off the line, and so he's got to make up for that. I'm excited to see what he can do having these people in front of him that are competent and that will stick with their receivers so he can just play that open space, play that center field, and be a ball hawk.
That's exactly it. You heard him say it. Roam that deep part of the field. That's the point I wanted to emphasize on, is just because I hear all the people saying, yeah, I'd rather, get rid of Kirby and just start Iffy. It's not, no. Iffy's your strong safety. Iffy's your bigger body guy that, again, like I explained with Brian Branch, can play the run and coverage. Your strong safety is a guy you typically find your tight ends. You go back to the time we sealed the deal in the NFC North Conference Championship, is when he had the big plays against TJ got hurt, and that was actually from Iffy. I'm sorry, from Kirby. But regardless, Kirby's the guy that roams that back part of the field. The strong safety is the guy you want in the middle of the guard, your tight ends. They can stop the run. You want your free safety, Kirby Joseph, to make the plays. And as he said, and using his words now too, I'm here to hype up the Lions because I'm a Detroit Lions fan. But I tell you how I call it like I see it. Scary, right? He makes the middle of that field scary for opposing offenses. Nick?
Yeah, I think he is bound for a massive leap, and it's funny to say massive leap when he's already put up numbers in his first 2 seasons. I don't know why he gets the shade from some fans. It doesn't make sense to me at all. And you think about the guys on the outside of this pass rush, Hutch and Houston getting to the quarterback fast, and then the interior pressure. He is going to be eating off guys like Caleb Williams, a Sam Darnold, when you think about just in-division quarterbacks that are bound to hit big turnovers. Once they feel the pressure from this defensive line, Kirby's going to be eating all day in the backfield or in the secondary.
He's already got multiple sons in this division at quarterback as dudes who are established NFL veterans, and now you have rookies coming in. You have a rookie in Caleb Williams. You have a rookie in J.J. McCarthy or Sam Darnold, whoever wins that spot. Like, these aren't guys that are seasoned and have seen things in the NFL. Like, these are guys who are going to make mistakes, guys that are going to leave the ball up there, guys that are going to worry because they've got Aiden Hutchinson and Ali McNeil and DJ Reader bearing down on them and throw it up there. And you know who's the best at finding that ball in the air on this defense? It's Kirby Joseph. It's going to be awesome to watch.
And think about the rookie in Green Bay as well, Jordan Morgan, who I wasn't high on going out of the draft. You think about Reader and Aleem going over top of him. Jordan Love's not going to be as comfortable as he was in Ford Field last time.
Yeah, the reason why I caped so hard for Kirby is I called this his rookie year. I was criticized for his rookie year. Now, obviously, we've yet to see it, but I was just trying to find a way to articulate to tell you that this kid's going to be a star in the secondary for you. He's going to be the one making these big plays for you. Little did I know Brian Branch is on his way too, and if Fonte Miller-Fon was going to merge. But I'm just talking about the guy that you just don't want to. He makes you timid to throw that ball. And the way this defense is going to be built out, and we'll get some of that here too, maybe in the same segment here, which is these linebackers and defensive line is like, ideally, in theory, the only way you're going to be able to eat when these guys are executing is kind of just over the top. And we have a Kirby Joseph like that over the top. That takes that away too. At least that's the hope.
And a fucking 6'6" monster linebacker over the top for those short routes that can get a hand in the air and tip the ball. Like, this defense gonna be pretty fucking good, man.
Amen. I'm glad you said that because we have a little bit of time here. If you can, Chris, it's the part 2 of Kelvin Sheppard, I believe, or it could be. Let me see which one it is real quick. The first one, the impact of the DBs. Kelvin Sheppard, play that because it kind of goes hand in hand.
Any corners that can match up in man coverage seem to be a priority this offseason. What can that do for the guys in your room?
Oh, it can do wonders because, and just overall, I mean, we've added Reader, we've added Davenport. I mean, these guys are high-end players in this NFL who's proven it already. So it's not skepticism. You're not looking over your shoulder and not saying that's what's happening, but it is what it is. Guys trying to overcompensate for what they thought were places they needed to help instead of doing their job. And that bit a bunch of people in the butts last year. Just getting off the bus knowing you got guys in, it's the confidence thing too. Like, I say, like, being on this practice field, hearing corners talking trash out the huddle, saying I got this guy and there's nothing you're going to do about it. I haven't been around that since I've been here, and I rarely been around it in the league. It's rare you get guys like that walk, talk, and act with that type of confidence, and we have multiple of them right now. So it's a thing of beauty for sure.
So is that sort of maybe peace of mind for linebackers now?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then in turn, these guys are saying they've never been around a linebacker room where the average height 6'3", 6'2", and these guys getting into these intermediate throwing windows because in turn, just like they're helping us deep to short, we're helping them short to deep with insulating those intermediate throwing lanes so now they can stay top shoulder, know the leverage they play and things like that, knowing these guys are going to be in those windows underneath.
And Spinny mentioned it, right? The meat missile, the 6'5" linebacker got there patrolling the middle, and you got the cornerbacks making you throw everything over the top, and then Kirby Joseph just the icing on the cake. Again, in theory, it's how things work. Now, obviously, this is football, and the football doesn't even bounce in a single direction where you know where it's going to go. So anything can happen. But in theory, everything stacks up, and it's not us glazing our favorite team. It's not us here just hyping them up so you guys hit the like button. These are the coaches saying these same things that we've told you over the summer when it comes to this team. We said this is all in Super Bowl bust year. I think they're kind of laying out the plan in front of you.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's not the slappy Lions fans of the past where this year is our year. No, we have realistic expectations now. We were in the NFC Championship game last year. You've got one of the most complete, one of the best rosters in football with guys that played a big role of it coming into their second year in the NFL. Like, it's guys that are going to get better, guys that are going to improve. And like he just mentioned, you brought in Carlton Davis, you brought in DJ Reader, you brought in these guys who will be insulated veteran pieces on that defense to go along with the young guys, to go along with the Brian Branches and the Jack Campbells and the Aiden Hutchinsons, guys that have been there, done that. So they're not going to freak out. They're not going to be out of position because they played in the NFL for multiple seasons. I'm excited to see this because you got a group full of fucking dogs back there and they're hungry. They have a bad taste in their mouth out of what happened in San Francisco last year.
You think about 3 first rounders that Brad Holmes had. He put it in one of the best defensive linemen in his draft. I would say he easily is in Hutchinson. You think about this year, the best cornerback I thought was Terrion Arnold. He got him. And then you think about the best linebacker. That's all 3 levels of the ball and first-round picks that you are putting into this defense that were all regarded as the best in their draft class. It is time for this defense to take a step up, and I believe they will do so.
Yeah, and every position has a veteran like leader now, or a veteran they can lean on, except for maybe safety. Like you look at the corners, you got Carlton Davis. The interior defensive lineman, you got DJ Reader. The defensive ends, you got Marcus Davenport. Like guys that have been around the league, guys that have done a lot of things. So you can bounce ideas off them. You can ask them about how to do this. Where if you're questioning it. So coaches on the field will be a big factor of this too.
Listen,
and no egos as well. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah. Hey, no characters. No characters, as a James Houston
would say.
Has said. More on this defensive linebacking room when we get back. But first, we got to tell you about Lady Jane's.
Lady Jane's. You can walk into any Lady Jane's and get an amazing haircut. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and do just that. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supplies, hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences, the online and big box retailers, with one major difference. They're family and locally owned and operated for over 30 years with 60 plus brands of food. They got everything you need and nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com. Excuse me.
What up? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. Your boy Easy Joe, my guy Spimo Rex.
Hello.
And Chris, Nicholas Kohloff.
Let's go.
What?
I don't know. My voice.
Sick?
No, I mean, I lost my voice a couple days ago. I guess it's still not all the way back yet.
Yeah, had a good time.
Huh?
You had a good time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a great time. Gonna do it all again next month.
We have some linebacker clips, and we have some questions in Woodward Sports chat. I will say, I'm not going to. Never mind. I'll get you the numbers. You guys want to know about the rollover cap? Somebody said you could do roll over 90% of it. I think I've read in the past you could do 100% of it. However, I think, well, first and foremost, you can do that. You just have to let the team know or the league know beforehand. There's a certain deadline cutoff date you could do it. But I've been saying since the end of the season, this is a do or die season. This is Super Bowl bust season.
I don't want to roll over anything.
Yeah, I think they're I don't want to say they're using all 40, but they're using some of it for damn sure. And if the people who were kind of just throwing shame on us last year, we talked about wanting to make the trade for a Chase Young or a Montez Sweat or whatever it may be to help project yourself into that Super Bowl game. I think that's what they do this year. And you can't say they're not going to do it when you gave up a third-round pick to go and get Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
And excuse my French. I don't want to disrespect him, I should say. Oui. Like, Carlton Davis, Chase Young, I feel like they're kind of similar, no? You know, I can't say Carlton Davis necessarily.
Similar level of player, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's definitely something they're willing to do. They just couldn't find a buyer, it seems like, last year.
They were looking for Danielle Hunter. They were trying to get Danielle Hunter last year.
Yeah.
Like that is on wax. Like that Brad Holmes was trying to get Danielle Hunter, but the price was a little too high. And I don't blame him because I bet Minnesota was trying to gouge, especially being an in-division opponent. But yeah, we've talked about this before, and we know that we were very fired up, we'll say that, at the trade deadline this year when no moves were made. except for Donovan Peoples-Jones, but I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I do think that the way they're talking, the way you're hearing it from Sheila Ford Hamp to Brad Holmes to Dan Campbell talking about this is the year. We're going to win a Super Bowl. Our goal is to hoist Lombardi. How you hoist Lombardi is you go out there and you do that. You add to your guys. You bring in a guy. You bring in something to get a little oomph going. That is a very good help to try to win that Super Bowl. So I do think that they're going to do that. I could see something happening. I don't know if it's going to be this splash player, but they're going to bring in somebody that will make a difference in the playoffs.
And I feel like obviously there'll be a few here and there sprinkled in when it comes to like these cap casualties once like training camp gets around. But I even think they carry some of that $40 million into the season where they actually have an idea of what they need or who may or may not get hurt. Let me knock on wood for that one. But prime example in my opinion, like the Marcus Davenport stuff. I have a lot of anxiety about that situation. Obviously, I know when healthy, the guy can produce.
Yeah.
The only issue is
can he stay healthy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been very sparingly. So I think you carry some of that into the season, and we talked about it, teased it, and I dream about it now. Matthew Judon, being an acquisition made. Like it's something they're definitely worth or willing to cook up and do.
Yeah. To that point, I think if there's a glaring weakness, like we saw last season, in the cornerback room, Emmanuel Mosley goes down. We didn't do anything besides sign Kendall Vildor from our practice squad to replace that. That's not an option this season.
That's a good
I know
point.
Brad Holmes has so much faith. We have so much faith in Brad Holmes in this community. If he does that this year, say somebody goes down, say the other side of Hutch isn't getting home, if there's a glaring weakness, he needs to attack it this season because that Super Bowl window is clearly here. And if we would have gone out and got a cornerback, we probably would have been in the Super Bowl.
That's a good point. You can't really argue that, and he obviously addressed that position. But I know you're not saying that one specifically. Like you look at the tackles.
Yeah.
God forbid Taylor Decker, gets injured.
Amen.
Are you comfortable with Giovanni Manu or Dan Skipper being that guy in a Super Bowl run?
No.
You would go out and you would address that spot, and Dak, I hope you're healthy and play every game, brother. Like I'm just using that. That's one of those positions that's a little thin out there. Is that starting offensive tackle? Is a starting wide receiver? So we'll see what happens. Maybe T. Higgins has looked around. Maybe other guys have looked around. I made a joke on Twitter that Max Crosby put out a Max Crosby quote saying like he wants to be a Raider for life because he was like I idolize guys like Kobe and Jordan and stuff. And I commented, I was like, unfortunately he'll be a Lion at the deadline. Like, but that would be dude. I would cut my fucking pants if we got Max Crosby. Like that would be insane. But I don't think it's going to be that. That was obviously a joke. But I agree with Nick. I think it'll be down to a position of need. If God forbid somebody goes down, you go out and you grab somebody to come in here so you can be established and have a Super Bowl run.
But with $40 million and a will to kill, can you necessarily count that out? Like
a star.
I'm just saying, I'm not counting it out. And again, it's probably not likely to be a star. What do you think, Caleb?
I think the reason Brad Holmes hasn't made a big trade yet is because he likes getting guys in the building first to kind of see, if they fit their culture, if they fit the grit, all that stuff. That's why I think he's been so great in the draft and free agency. But yeah, I think I'm not saying that Brad Holmes isn't going to make any moves because he doesn't know what the guys like in a locker room or, stuff like that. But I don't know. I just think Brad Holmes rather build the team through the draft, through free agency, so he can get guys in the room and, see what they're all about.
Yeah, and he said that before about he's being easier to pay the guys that you drafted and you develop because you know who they are. And when you're paying somebody outside of the organization, it gets a little iffy there. And if you got the stiffy, you look at a guy like Carlton Davis, or not Carlton Davis. That's my second part of my point. You look like a guy like Cam Sutton. You bring in, you give him the money, expect him to be here, and he beats up his wife and runs away. Like that's something you would have probably seen that character flaw if you would have had him in the building for a couple years. But also, he's not afraid to take that leap because this year he brings in a Carlton Davis, he brings in a DJ Reader, he brings in guys that aren't a part of this Lions or his regime. So I I don't know what they're going to do at the deadline. I don't know what Brad Holmes is ever going to do. I don't know what he's eating for breakfast. I assume there's going to be coffee involved, but maybe he's a tea guy. I don't know. So
I think he's a grit guy.
He's a grit guy. Yeah, he wakes up,
So he just eats the coffee right out of the fucking
He
can.
makes a big bowl of grits, and that's all he eats.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. It's impossible to predict what that guy's going to do. He's a savant.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I like too is like we heard a lot of rumors, I guess, around this team in the past that just never come to fruition. Like we almost fell victim to a few of those too, like the Mike Evans stuff. I'm sure there's other things in the past too. But that's one characteristic of this regime. Like there's never like sources or secrets that come out that have ever like followed up to be true. You know, none of them led up to be true. It's they're very close to the vest.
Yeah.
However, you know the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Like we know the game plan.
Tell you what,
we have at least.
Yeah,
we've been pretty fucking good at it.
We've been pretty fucking good.
Without sources, by the way. We're like, yeah, this makes sense.
Just go, his last name's Campbell. I think he loves football.
Yeah.
Like, we've been pretty good.
You got DJ Reader.
Yeah.
Montgomery.
David Montgomery, yeah.
Yeah. You know, we not Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
Let him cook. All on this show. Just saying. So make sure you guys tune in. 5 to 7, Monday through Friday. Here
We're
on
the Brad
Woodward
Holmes
Sports.
Whisperers.
The Brad Holmes Whisperers. We have some more comments from Kelvin Sheppard. Who I think is that your favorite defensive? Who's your favorite defensive coach?
Kelvin Sheppard for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Todd Wash. Like I love Todd Wash, but Kelvin Sheppard, dude, that guy reeks of head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he talks, I love the way that he talks, the way that he dresses. Like the guy literally reeks of head coach. Like he is going to be a head coach in the future in the NFL for sure.
Amen.
Terrell Williams. Whoa.
Terrell Williams is the man too.
Yeah, I think Kelvin Sheppard and him are on the same level now. Honestly, in my book, the way he was talking earlier, holy shit, it made me want to, where's the closest brick wall, as it's said by Dan, or like when Dan Campbell talks as well.
What do you guys think of Jim O'Neill?
Jim O'Neill's a cop.
He's all right.
He's a cop?
I saw somebody saying he looks like a cop. He does give off cop vibes for sure.
Dude, that's why I was laughing while you were talking that one time during the, I think it's Brian Branch one. Somebody said he looks like Gary Owens.
Gary Owens.
Jim O'Neill.
Yeah.
I couldn't unsee it as like every time he came back.
Is that the guy from Power?
No, it kind of looks like him. He's the
Kinda
one
looks
white
like
guy that's
Tommy
always
from
in like
Power.
the BAT. He's the one white guy.
Yeah.
He's the token white
he's
guy
like
at BT.
Tommy from Power is like the evil Gary Owens.
Yeah, literally. The anti-Gary Owens. All right, guys. When we get back from here, we'll have some more from Kelvin Sheppard, your favorite defensive coach on this team. But not before I tell you guys about KDK Law. Listen, the best in the game, they got your back. You tell them the heavyweight sent you. They will pay for your filing fee. It's KDK Law. What type of law? Family law. And family is most important. Whether you're going through divorce, child custody, visitation, or any other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham have your back. Tell them the heavy sent you, and they'll pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
This Woodward Sports was your local cannabis plug for a specific reason. They got the best bud tenders, the best deals, the best atmosphere, and there's 6 locations more across the great state of Michigan. Visit DispoShops.com to find one near you. This Woodward cannabis plug must be 21 up in order to participate. What up, Dow? And welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights, live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Easy, joined by Spimo Rax.
What up, Doe? Random girl in my gym. I love you.
Nice.
I fell in love twice today.
Which one do which one do you love more?
This one. For sure. Yeah, second one for sure.
Yeah, all day. I can tell.
Because I didn't talk to the other one. I just see her at the gym.
Hey,
No, first one was the gym one.
Spenny, not gonna lie, Had a little extra pep in your step when I was walking in here.
Yeah.
You were glowing.
Yeah, I
She said
talked
hi to him.
I was talking to her. Yeah, talked to her about a couple things. And
What do we find out some inside information?
found out
really?
we had some things in common. And got me even more excited.
Was that the first conversation?
No, I've talked to her before.
The actual conversation?
Yeah.
Or it's like, hey.
No, I talked to her about my tattoos and stuff before.
Who brought it up?
I did. Because I said I liked hers, and then I showed her mine.
Just pulls out the thigh tattoo.
Whip this out. Yo, you guys, are you feeling confident in this defense after today?
I'm feeling pretty fucking confident.
Right?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I want to say they're going to be a top 10 defense in the NFL. Like, I know that might just be me fucking love drunk right now and just hearing all this hype from these guys, but like, we talked about the drastic turnaround that run defense had.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the pass defense do the same thing with the guys you added and that same, like, if this pass defense, it just needs to be like top 17 and then you have a top 10 defense in the NFL because the run defense is going to be top 3.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of want to get there and just be like, yeah, we're going to have a top 10 defense, but I feel like that's too much.
I feel like top 10's pushing it for one reason specifically. I think we're going to be blowing a lot of teams out.
Yeah, well,
maybe hop into that prevent defense, kind of other teams trying to play catch up with our offense that's elite. That's why I think maybe, they kind of pat the stats a little bit when it comes to points scored against us.
Yeah, I guess even if you're hesitant to speak on the secondary until you see it, that's very fair. I think one thing they're looking to do, or at least I think will happen at some point this year, is they're marrying the pass rush and the coverage. And we have been hyping up Terrell Williams ever since. So I think he'll help out big time.
And like how much improved the pass rush was 2 years ago, like with Todd Wash in there instead of John Scott Jr.
That's a phenomenal point. Charles Harris, your mortal enemy.
Yeah.
He got 7 sacks on a Todd Wash.
Yeah.
And then without him, nothing.
He was nothing.
It makes a difference. And you talk about a guy, too, who likes being versatile and moving around different fronts. As a coach, I see him getting the best of the guys that we have. Caleb?
I mean, just the depth that Brad Holmes added to this defense this offseason is going to, take us as far as, like you said, if that passing defense can be top 17, we're a top 10 defense in the NFL. When you look, no disrespect, we're not going to see a guy like Kendall Vildor play playoff snaps for us again.
Relax, because people might come after you.
But
they came after me on Twitter.
There's just the depth they added on the defensive line in the secondary. Hopefully no injuries happen, but if they do, we got guys that are going to step up and play some damn good football for us.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I love the Ennis Rakestraw pick in the second round. You double up on corner just in case someone happens to. Carlton Davis, hopefully not. But if they do, you got another stud going in there. And
you got Easy's boyfriend, Emmanuel Mosley. Who,
I forgot he's back.
I say that jokingly, but who knows what that guy could be? When healthy, he was a dog. Who knows if, glass bones and paper skin will be healthy. But, Chris?
I think, honestly, this might be a hot take, but I think we are a James Houston breakout away from being a top 10 defense. I think that's the last thing.
Point.
If he is like the edge rusher or anywhere near the production that he was in that first season, and he can really provide that second elite or borderline elite pass rusher opposite of Hutch, I think that's the final piece. I trust everything else that's in place. I like the linebacking core. I like the safe. I like the DB room, the secondary. I think they'll need some time to gel, but when they get there, I think that's top 10 quality. I think the last part of it you're looking at is that edge opposite of Hutch. And if it's James Houston and if he breaks out like he was that first season, then I think you have a top 10 defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a very astute point, Chris. You have to have that guy opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, a guy that will be your number 2 in sacks, the DeMarcus Lawrence to your Micah Parsons,
Or at least the big heavy in the middle. I mean, kind of like Terrell Williams is saying, I'll match him up. I'll get, if I have a guy going upfield, then I want a guy that's eating blocks. And they at least grab that part in DJ Reader. So if Marcus Davenport isn't that, or Houston isn't that, or there's no consistency there, at least you got the guy that's demanding double teams.
But you got to think, even with the big heavies that we had last year in the middle that were nobodies once Aleem McNeil went out, you had one-on-ones in that back end every time.
It was a rotating door.
Remember what happened when we brought in a guy who notoriously could win one-on-one matchups. off of a fucking retirement home. You bring in Bruce Irvin, and he wins you a game. Like, he won you that game. He took Derek Carr out of the fucking game, and that won you the game. And so if you have a guy who can consistently win one-on-ones and isn't a paraplegic or 70 years old, that will help you win more games.
Oh, why you get so much?
I don't know. I love Bruce Irvin. I liked him. I liked him in Seattle. Everybody was hyping him up, but he won you the Raiders game. Like, he really did.
D-Town Heat says it the best. A healthy reader is key.
Sure.
That's absolutely right. A healthy reader and or the development of Broderick Martin.
Mhm.
And I heard the offensive line coaches
now both.
and the defensive line coaches say, nose tackle specifically, and just offensive line, you can't really get a good measure on until you have those guys in pads and you've seen them like in action, because that involves physicality.
DNC ENT says prune juice Bruce.
Prune juice Bruce. I like that.
See, I think I doubled down on it because I got called sir at the gym the other day.
Oh, man.
Because it's like the high school summer pass at Planet Fitness. Check it out. High schoolers can go work out for free.
It was a high schooler?
There's these kids. Yeah, there's like three. I mean, I assume there are 3 kids. They had some weights over there. I was like, you guys using those? He was like, no, sir. You could have. I was like,
damn.
Fuck.
Damn. You want one?
Yeah, you fucking want one? No, that was my first unk moment for sure.
Unky Spence.
Yeah.
What if they would have called
I'm
you
literal Unky Spence.
What if they would have called you Bud instead of Sir? Like, are you a good Bud?
That would have been fine. I mean, that would have been weird too.
Yeah, that would have been super
Have you
weird.
called sir by younger people yet?
No.
I don't think I've had that experience yet.
I haven't either.
I haven't.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
If I'm in like a environment, like if I'm at somebody's work, then I will say sir. If I'm like picking up something.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
I say
no
sir.
problem, sir.
Yeah.
But like not to somebody in the gym at like an equal playing ground.
I gave it right back though, because I had like a 60-year-old like Lithuanian dude.
Maybe 60.
Yeah, but I was like, thank you, sir. He helped me with my form on my lateral raises.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks, sir. Yes. He was jacked. So I was like, yeah, I'll listen to whatever you're saying. He was fucking big.
I know.
He's Eastern European. I didn't want to make him angry.
Fuck no. It's like in Sopranos, they go try to kill the where's the guy from? Is he Russian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
No thanks. The interior designer.
Yeah. They shot him too.
That's the best episode of the entire series.
I thought the entire time that was a great episode, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought he's coming back at some point.
No.
At some point, he's coming back to kill one of those guys.
When they're fucking eating the ketchup packets, dude.
Yeah,
it's like a slushy. It's frozen.
Yeah, part of this defense being better this year too, again, I think is a depth as well. Beyond Jack Campbell, we have Alex Anzalone, who's only been getting better and better and better. And now he's also kind of put back into like the will slot, because it sounds like this guy, Jack Campbell's taking over the mic. You play whatever piece of this, Chris.
Yep, it's hard to get a full tell, obviously, physically on the linebacker position during this time of year due to the physical nature that we play, especially here. But he's exceeded my expectations, which were already high. But he's come back further along than where I expected, because you don't have meetings during the gap from the last game to now. And really those guys with the length of the season, him coming off a rookie campaign and all that stuff, typically you see those guys take a chunk of time off and come in kind of still raw. But this player, you could tell, dove right back into it, even told me took minimum time off. I'm sure his fiance hated it, but he got right back engulfed in ball, and it's paying off for him right now. He's with Alex being out the majority of the offseason. Jack led the huddle, made the calls. Everybody looked to him. He was making the checks, and to be honest, he set the tone for the offseason defensively.
Jack Campbell, year 2, baby.
Jack
Loaded.
Campbell, year 2. Captain Jack.
So that confirmation bias we like to play on the show.
Yeah.
He's taking over. The defense is looking towards him in these offseason workouts. How crazy is that to hear?
We heard about that. Like Aaron Glenn said it, that green dot energy. We saw his rookie year when Anzalone was off the field. He was the one in the huddle. They call him Captain Jack for a reason. That's who he is. That's what he does. I love to see it, and I love to hear it, because I really expect big things out of this kid this year. I expect him to have a insane season, like 120, 130 plus tackles, couple interceptions. I think he's going to be an absolute menace on the field.
Yeah, his fiance is not happy, fellas, because he's married to the game. What a Dan Campbell effing guy. I mean, you just think about it. You just said it right there. Kelvin Sheppard talking him up. He is married to the game of football. This guy's second-year leap is going to be monstrous, and I cannot wait to see just an absolute unit in the linebacker, in the middle of this defense. When's the last time we had that, fellas? Like Stephen Tolak? Like, and
yeah.
he was solid. He was good,
Stop
but
saying it like that.
is he
Like 1
exceptional?
year of
Great?
Tahir Whitehead.
Yeah.
He was a dog for 1 year.
Well, dude, that's the thing, too, with this defensive line is like
Yes.
Ashley Palmer, Tahir Whitehead, guys that went on beyond the lines to dissipate, become nothing. When they had this great defensive line in front of them, and Sue and Fairley and Ziggy, those
Makes it a lot
guys
easier.
look like they could ball.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting Tolek. Tolek was a dog everywhere.
Whitehead had a couple good years with the Raiders after he left us.
He was there. I mean, I don't think it was good years, though. You know, like
talking elite linebacker play, fellas. When's the last time?
Probably Tolek and Levy.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be special. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
and there's
it
depth
is.
with it, too.
Yeah.
Like, beyond them, obviously you have Anzalone, too. And they've also all been
Barnes.
cross-trained across the
Germ.
situation, too. Germ, I think, is like way better at linebacker than people give him credit for. Like,
Yeah,
he really is, bro. I'm pretty sure the pick
I remember
last
when we
year,
first
didn't he?
drafted him.
A pick and a sack.
Yeah, when we first drafted him, I was like, I like this. He's got that sideline to sideline
Yes.
speed. Like he can do some things out there. Yeah, the linebacking core is nice, man. And Kelvin Sheppard, dude, he coaches these guys up. And they have improved consistently with him. I love it. And I'm really excited to see what Jack Campbell can do, because like Anzalone, no offense to him, but he was a subpar linebacker in New Orleans. He comes into Detroit his first year, bad. Last 2 years, he's been playing out of his mind. You put a guy like Jack Campbell, who is more talented and gifted physically, who is a higher prospect, who has done it before in the Big Ten and knows what he's doing. Like, you give him that same role under that same tutelage with a better defensive line in front of him, sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. We actually have them talking about the depth, too. You want to play the other piece?
Mm-hmm. Talk about continuity within the coaching group, but let's talk about the players. You've been able to have most of these players for a few years. Like, how does that build for you with the program you're trying to establish with them and trying to teach them?
And I think that's something that you'll see, and you saw this offseason. The biggest jump we're making, I can tell you firsthand, as a defense, and then that bleeds more further to the team, is the chemistry, the collectiveness. When you talk about the defensive scheme, this is the first time in 4 years we're carrying over the same system for the most part, for the bulk of it. So guys that's been in it. Now it's not installing basic one-on-one stuff. We're now hitting the 300, 400, 500 level nuances of the ins and outs of it, which allow these guys to play faster, make plays that you probably couldn't make learning it first day brand new. And then these guys gelling together, knowing how Aleem McNeil plays and how I'm going to play off him, knowing how Hutch plays. These guys now have had 2, 3, 4 years, some of them in instance, the Levi's of the world. These guys been here since 2021. So when you have that, obviously is natural growth and progression within it.
That's the other piece of this. I guess I forgot to hype up. Like, we talk about Dan Campbell saying this is like, you know, football 401 because you had all the same coordinators, but that's Corey, our very own. I love Corey. That's a guy though. That's Corey asking that question though about like, how about the continuity in the locker room?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about like,
shout out Corey.
Back, I think it was a year ago at least, or maybe it was a 22 season where we're talking about how like guys were overcompensating because they didn't trust each other, but now you know each other's tendencies going into the situation. Maybe outside the cornerback room, but they'll feel it out.
And that's what happens with the cohesion of the coaching staff and the message spread out to them. How often do you see the same head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and majority of the assistants stay this many years in a row? Like, you don't have it. Like, this is the first time Jared Goff's had this in his career. This is the first time I'm sure a lot of guys on this team have had the same head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator for 3 seasons. Like, that creates a continuity. That creates a cohesion where you know what is expected of you. You know what's expected of the guy next to you. And you're not going to go out there and freak out because you know you do your job, you fall in line, good things are going to happen.
Talking about this linebacker room, what do you guys expect out of a guy like Derek Barnes, who kind of gets swept under the rug when we think about Jack Campbell taking a massive leap and a guy like Anzalone, who's played out of his mind last year? Where do you think Derek Barnes fits into this equation?
I think he is going to be your Sam. Just because he kind of was that at Penn State, wasn't he? Like, he was – or Purdue, I apologize. He's more like that. He'd blitz.
Yeah.
More than – I think him stepping into that Mike and Will role, like, those were kind of like new to him, new for him. Derek Barnes, I think now you're gonna relate. You saw him.
He did it well last year.
So exactly, you
Yeah.
saw him be somewhat successful at too in playoff games. You saw him be successful at. I mean, you can't really say. I guess he didn't complete the tackle, but in the Dak Prescott situation, and that's where he's best fitted. That's where he's best suited. I've always felt that way about Derek Barnes. When I put on his tape, I thought of a poor man, small man's Micah.
Yeah.
Just because he's that linebacker, but he was, getting after the quarterback a little bit. I think you might even see the best version of Derek Barnes too, with this whole situation situated finally at the linebacker spot where you have Jack emerging as your Mike, Anzalone can step back into the will, and then you're Sam and Derek Barnes.
Yeah, you got Barnes, you got Malcolm, you got Jerm, you got guys that can rotate in and play different things and have done different things in this offense. Like you got a lot of versatility at all levels. I'm so excited, man. I'm just talking myself into a top 10 offense.
Defense?
Or defense, yeah. Yeah.
I'm taking the pussy way out and say top 15.
I'm saying top 10. I'm gonna stamp it.
Terrion Arnold all pro. No,
They're gonna have a top 10 defense.
Those are the pieces that Deshae Townsend spoke to, but he's just so just straight to the point that wasn't worth clipping.
Yeah.
But he had mentioned some things real quick, I guess, before we get a break here with this one. He said Terrion and Ennis Regenshaw, good, but they're still rookies. There's still some stuff to learn for them. He's grateful for Carlton Davis being in that room too, because he's their only second year guy or second contract guy. I guess now Meek's officially on his second year too, or second contract, I should say. But he is more steps to go. It sounded like listening to Deshae Townsend.
Yeah.
But the rookies, I mean, obviously it's kind of obvious, and they got to mesh together too. But we have to go to break. Spinny, tell us about Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's Planet Fitness close by, more than 50 in Metro Detroit, and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? Head on over to woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab today. They got amazing appeal, the ultimate swag, hoodies, tees, hats, all that guaranteed to turn heads. Stop scrolling on Twitter and start scrolling on woodwardsports.com to get yourself some brand new merch.
What is the merch?
What is it, the merch?
NBA Finals tonight. Little mailbag.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Tigers tonight.
You want to do.
Tigers tonight too.
You guys think Reese Olsen bounces back while we're just real quick?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
He needs to.
He does.
Yeah. He will.
I think he will.
What do we do?
You can't give up 8 again against the Nationals.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that straight
I'm
up.
not here to lead.
Are you watching that over the finals? Or you flipping back and forth?
No, he's fine. You talking to me or him?
Both. Yeah,
I was just saying stupid shit while he was talking.
Oh.
I'm not here to lead. Muad'Dib, Lisa Nagaib. Oh, dude.
Nice.
One night I was yelling that shit in Chicago, drunk as hell, walking home from the bar. I am Paul Atreides, son of Leo Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. And somebody far as fuck away was like, Lisa Nagaib! Like, yeah. But I'm gonna flip back and forth. I'll probably pay more attention. Well, no, I'm not flipping anything. I can't watch the Tigers. So yeah, I'll just watch.
Oh no, who saw that coming?
I'll just watch the baseball or watch the basketball game.
Oh no.
Smoking on that Tingus Packs, Alan W.
Tangus Pangus.
Officially
Who the
out.
fuck is Tangus Pangus?
I ain't never heard of no Latavia.
Never heard of no Latavia. Dude, that's still one of my favorite videos ever. I still got my Porzingis Knicks jersey.
Can we talk this basketball topic or are we doing something else?
Fuck you, Chris. So which basketball topic?
The
one
James
that's in
Edwards
there.
trade ideas?
Or the one before it, whichever one you want to do. I got both ready.
Let's do the James Edwards ones.
The trades?
Yeah.
What is it?
Was
The trades?
Was it the trades?
That's why we're best friends. All right. First James Edwards trade offer comes from Portland. The Pistons trade the number 5 pick, and the Pistons receive number 14, Jeremy Grant, and Matisse Thybulle.
Yes.
Gentlemen, how are you guys feeling about this?
1,000%.
All day.
Shout out to James Edwards, by the way. He's the most
phenomenal.
most locked in, tied in Pistons beat guy out there.
Of the Athletic.
And he knows his shit. James Edwards, if you're not for some reason following him on socials, go do it. He's fantastic at his job. Does great work, writes great articles. I would 1,000% in a heartbeat take. I love Jeremy Grant. Him and Cade, when they started like getting the hiccups out and were actually playing together, they played very well together. Jeremy Grant is a perfect fit to put next to Asar Thompson. Like in the, I would love. And Matisse Thybulle, him, another just wing defender who can kind of shoot a little bit. Yeah, I would love that. And you got the 14th pick too, right? That was in there.
Yeah, the 14th.
Yeah, what the fuck? Now,
Especially in a draft like this where everything kind of feels, and which typically is, but a true roll of dice.
Yeah, this
no one's even decided who's the number 1 prospect yet.
This draft screams like the best players getting picked like 11th or 17th, like somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
draft Golke at 14.
Yeah, it's the only downside to this is if you're doing the math. This leaves the Pistons with after acquiring the 14th pick, which will be a couple $1 million, they'll be at under $10 million in cap space. So this would absorb basically all of their cap space.
I'm fine with that.
All of the cap space into those 2 players.
Yeah,
I think you can hunt around the margins, find a little better. I don't hate this trade. I don't like how much of the cap it.
You said
it
10
eats
million in cap space left. That's what, 2 veteran minimum contracts.
I mean, but you're not getting a veteran minimum for Detroit. Like,
Give me
you're really
Andre
not.
Drummond on a veteran minimum.
That's probably one of the only veteran minimums you can get. That plus the exception. So I mean, I'm not all the way against it by any means. I would like to try to make this cap space.
What's Tybulle's contract?
It's about 11 million a year.
And then you can still
It's
make
about
a
the
trade.
same
Oh,
as-
you're good.
Yeah.
We
You
got
can still
60.
make a trade too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could make
You got
a
like
trade
20
for
million
it.
left.
No, I have the math right in front of me. You have 12.7 million before the 14th pick.
Was it the trade?
Jeremy Grant's like 29 million.
Yeah, he's 29 million, but Thybulle is 11 or 12, right? Let me see.
I have it right in front of me. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding.
Zach
That's-
Helen
11.
W says Zach Edey or bust, right, Spenny? I will unalive myself if
So
they
you
draft
have
Zach
24 million then. If we have 65 million in cap, right?
I'm going by the Fanspo, which is like the best NBA trade machine because it allows you to sign free agents, do all sorts of things. But you're bringing in $40.8 million, and then you'll have 12.7 left is what it's saying, and then plus again factoring in the 14th pick, which is going to be a couple $1 million in salary that player. So
keep the pick for all I care, dude. Immediately, Jeremy Grant becomes your number 2. He can shoot from the outside. He slides in next to Duren that plays the 5. Give me Jeremy Grant. When this team was winning games, he was a big reason why we were.
Yeah.
And like you said, Spembo, him and Cade pair well together. Maybe it took him a little bit to figure out who has the ball in the big moment. I'm not worried about that now. It's definitely Cade. Jeremy Grant fits into that number 2 role immediately.
Yeah.
And we need a wing defender and scorer that can actually shoot the rock, and he can do it.
Yeah, in that trade right there, you get 2 elite wing defenders, and one of them can shoot.
that would
So-
overhaul your defense
Yeah.
immediately. But the only problem I go back to is fitting Thybulle and Asar. That will
Thybulle
be,
comes off. You
yeah.
can't have him up before.
Exactly. So I like the players.
Then you
I
have
like the trade.
Sasser and Fontecchio and Thybulle off the bench, and that's 2 shooters
Yeah.
and a defender.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah. I don't hate it, but let's go to the next one. Chicago Bulls are calling. The number 5 pick for the number 11 pick and a top 4 protected 2027 first. A juicy first, because I mean I'm pretty bleak on Chicago's future. But this summer, with the team wanting like real change, are you willing to stomach one of these kind of asset trades rather than immediate help?
If that's the only thing they do, no, I would not accept that. But if that is a Another thing they do, like if they go out and get guys that'll actually help us, I would love that trade. If that's the only thing, no, it's not cool. But if they make that trade and do other things, yeah, that would be a good trade for sure.
Okay, Easy, where you at with that?
I think you'd see it.
Okay, so it's Chicago. It's Chicago giving us this year's pick at 11 plus a future protected first in 2027. So again, you're not getting a player back that impacts in exchange for 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
would do it for sure. But like I said, not if that's the only move. I wouldn't be happy. But
no, yeah.
I also am definitely a fan of, if you look at all the successful teams in the NBA, they all had equity in somebody else's franchise while building their own.
Mhm.
And I think that's a real key, because you talk about a 2027 first, you think about it, you got Cade in the middle of his rookie max extension. Your cap space isn't the greatest. All of a sudden that could become a very, very good asset for a player that becomes on the market, or it becomes a high level pick that you get to add into an already, at that point you're hoping much more fleshed out team that's maybe trying to contend. So I like those kinds of moves, and I'm in agreement with Spencer. You don't make that move and just that move, but in tandem with some win now moves, I like that move. And here's another move that fits that also. If you're
got a move,
yeah,
the last one,
I got the moves. You got it.
Memphis Grizzlies, number 5 for number 9 and a top 4 2025 first round pick.
He's back for sure. I would do that for sure. Again, I like both of those trades, but not if they're the only trade. Definitely need to get some players, some guys that'll help you now. But yeah, those are both very good trades in my mind.
Easy.
So Grizzlies get number 5, we get 9. Top 4 prospect 20.
See,
I don't know. I wouldn't like that one.
Yeah, I think Memphis is going to be
Memphis
good.
gonna bounce back.
Like Chicago in 2027.
Unless you're banking on John Morant's entire downfall.
That's what I'm saying.
Like just that Glock on the corner talking to him like the Green Goblin mask. Unless that would be you're banking on that. For
That
sure.
is hilarious.
I love Ja though.
Me too. Nick, where you at with these trades? You want win now or
I would
assets
take all 3 of them in a heartbeat. I think this draft absolutely blows. So if you're moving back 5 to, what was that, 9 or 5 to 11 or 13, whatever it is, and getting an extra first round pick for next year, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. And then you think about the first one, you're getting the best player in the trade in Jeremy Grant. None of these guys in this draft, I'm just going to come out and say it, you can hold me to it for the rest of their careers. None of these guys are going to touch Jeremy Grant's level of production ever in their career. At number 5, you're not getting the guy like Jeremy Grant. Yes, I would do that in a heartbeat. I think you need to add legitimate pros and talented ones to this team to help out Cade, and that's where it starts for this team to start picking up W's. Yes, to all 3 of these trades.
Yeah, I want win now trades because I'm not opposed to those asset trades. If I had to lean one or the other, I'd take the Chicago because I think that 2027 pick will be very juicy.
I agree.
But ultimately, win now because what were we saying this time last year? Team USA summer camp. Cade is the breakaway highlight. Like he is the talk of the town. Everybody's like, oh my God, look at what him and Jalen Duren are doing. They are impressing not just Detroit fans, but the whole NBA world. So you put talent around Cade Cunningham, and you're going to see a much elevated team. I think he's a guy that just elevates his teammates. So I like that, and I just would prefer to get maybe some other moves via free agency or trade. I don't hate Grant and Tybalt all the way. I just think rotation gets very tricky.
That's fair. Great job, Chris. And again, shout out to James Edwards.
Shout out to James
Pistons
Edwards.
beat reporter. He always knocks it out of the park.
I legitimately think this draft is worse than the Anthony Bennett draft. That's where I'm at with it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Who else was in that draft?
Victor
Giannis, Rudy
Oladipo,
Gobert.
Cody Zeller.
Yeah. Nobody knew Giannis.
Yeah, I'm saying like that, like top 10.
Yeah, the actual prospects.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to David Griffin about the Anthony Bennett pick one time, and he was like,
"Oh yeah, it's cool."
What the fuck was that supposed to
Yeah,
be?
we interviewed him in my sports journalism class at MSU.
Damn.
And they're like, everybody gets a question, except I walked up there, I was like, so, you guys had great luck in the draft. You hit on 2 of the 3. What happened with Anthony Bennett? He's like, well, if anybody would have told you they knew what Giannis would have been back then, they're lying to your face. I was like, yeah. He's like, it's what happens sometimes in the NBA. It's about talent. It's about projected talent. Anthony Bennett was projected to be a low post monster, and it just didn't work out. It's fair.
It's fair. It's fair.
That's fair. And if you want to know about something great, make sure you check out the morning show Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every morning as they cover all of Detroit sports, sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Guardian Alarm offers you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night. No Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology. It's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. Call them at 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. And let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Man. I did not see that.
Crush that one, huh?
Yeah. Nailed it.
Oh, god damn it.
Is there a way to make it move?
You can make it bigger and smaller.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Where it just moves all the time?
Hey, give me a second.
Oh, yeah. A movement grab, like when we were tripping acid that one day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
I'm so glad we didn't do that.
Acid?
Yeah, no. Do that with the back walls. I would look back there and I felt like I was on mushrooms because it was
Can't do it right
breathing
now.
at
It's
me.
locked.
That shit was fucked.
Well, time for the mailbag segment. Send you guys questions in. I
Mail
saw
sack.
one already. It says, I think it was Steve O'Baby. Let me find it real quick. It's easy. Is there anything about the Detroit Lions next year that scares you?
Honestly, Keys kind of talked me into the tackle depth. Like the
Yeah, that's injury. I mean, that's
serious. Yeah, I know. But
barring injury?
Barring injury, no, not really.
No?
Easy's like Jared Goff.
Secondary? Oh. You want me to keep a buck?
Yeah.
I think there is a recipe to stopping us, but it really just depends on the run game. Like the Bears and the Ravens, they clearly figured out a way to kind of like stall this offense. That's wild. No, that was the craziest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, he does it all the time.
Either way, I think the scariest, the Ravens and the Bears, they know how to handle the way we eat in the middle of the field. We've seen it in action.
Love to eat.
So I think if teams are able to replicate that formula, however, that run game, it's not so much a formula. You gotta man everyone down because they're gonna punch you in the mouth. The run game is just our offensive line is too good that you have to man up and outperform us. So as long as the run game's going, no. But if the run game slows down, yeah, I think there's some things.
It's fair. Mailbag DNCENT. Could Jamal Hill spiral? Seems too focused on Alex Pereira. Like live to be KO'd. Can he bounce back or will he have a down tick?
Oh, that's right. He's fighting at 303.
He
may be the main event.
I could
at 303.
I could see him falling off a cliff. I'm not gonna lie. I hate to say that because I like Jamal Hill. Obviously, he's a Michigan guy. You love to see that, but like, if you get too chinny, sometimes it happens fast, and those hands of stone might have shaken up something. And but he's still a dog, man. He lost to arguably the scariest man to ever step in an octagon. So I'm not reading into it too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen.
I think we talked about it on this show, and I forgot we brought it up initially, but Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, Jan Blachowicz, Yuri, and Jamal, 5 champions.
Yeah,
he's fought and beat. Alex Pereira, there's no shame in losing him. He's one of the best.
Yeah, he's a freak,
just straight up. And then in terms of Jamal Hill, yeah, I think you make a great point. Him keep bringing up Alex Pereira. I mean, I hope he's working his ass off. But Carlos Olberg, I don't think he's ever done what Alex Pereira accomplished at
no slouch,
kickboxing. Yeah, but he's exactly.
Yeah.
He brings that same technicality. That's a guy that fights in Izzy's camp, which is a phenomenal kickboxing camp. So I think Jamal better be focused on Carlos Ulberg, especially because the last minute replacement too. Because what's his name pop for steroids?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and we know like chins when they get loose, Chuck Liddell is the number one you look at. Like, look at what happened to Chuck Liddell. Didn't get knocked out for like his whole career, and then got knocked out like 10 times in a row. So
yeah.
I wouldn't
flirt
be
with that money line. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Silky Johnson, what flavor Mio are you guys choosing to eat the Drio? Gotta go fruit punch, right? I don't know. I actually have never had Mio.
Mio's phenomenal. It's true. If you find your flavor,
I'd probably do some crazy ass blue raspberry. I'm always into like artificial blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry is a good flavor.
I like the blue raspberry. Yeah, blue raspberry probably a safe one to go with. Or that's it.
Everything will get all blue.
Whatever purple one I've been using. Some Mio on the Prio.
You ever put any booze in with a Mio?
I've heard of people doing it, but I never actually tried it. I'll try it with some tequila.
Those were those big jugs that were going for a while, like those water jugs with Mio and like vodka.
Yeah.
Filled up. I don't even know what.
Chef, mailbag, Spenny, welcome to the top 10 dark side. We have cookies.
Top 10.
Hopefully they're snickerdoodles. I love snickerdoodles.
Who said that, Chef?
Yeah.
That's funny, so.
DNCENT, Volk or Chandler? Has Volk put his head back on straight yet?
No.
I would give
He needs to take time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not step into the ring with Michael Chandler if I was Volkanovski.
Nope.
That's asking for another knockout. Like that dude is a killer.
Yeah.
Like, you could wrestle fuck him, but he's a good wrestler, too.
Yeah, Volk will. I think he's already kind of accepted it, too, because it seems like.
He's pretty fucking old.
It seems like Max is up next for the featherweight belt. It's kind of been leaning that way, especially after that Justin fight.
Oh, yeah.
It would just sell like crazy. And Volk just needs
a
the rest,
4?
bro.
That would be 4 or 5?
For Max?
For Max and Volk.
Oh, yeah, it'd be 5.
That'd be 5, right?
5, I think.
Yeah, because Volk won the last 3.
Initial belt, Fight Island.
That's
the rematch. No, I think it'd be 4.
Yeah, because the last one was the one that was like, damn.
MPW asked what's up with Stipe. Stipe's fine. He's just old as fuck.
Stipe's just old, yeah.
He was asked to fight Tom Aspinall. He said, I only want to fight John Jones.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to fight Tom Aspinall at his age either. He would die.
Dallas, Boston. Who gets it tonight, fellas?
Dallas.
Tigers, Nationals. Do we drop to 3 under? Who gets it tonight?
Tigers.
Tigers better get it.
I think Reese Olson bounces back. I think he goes 7 with 1 earned run, 4 hits.
Hey, love the call. I got Tigers.
Black
and
cherry,
Mavs
that's a good
as
one too. Ooh, strawberry pineapple. I'm
Veerling Homer.
Veerling Homer?
He's back.
All right, he's back, baby. All right.
We knew it was Wenzel, flash in the pan.
Wenzel, yep. That'll do it for us today. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure you smash that like button.
Smeesh.
Tell your friends.
Smeesh.
Tell your family. Haven't said this in a while. Tell your grandma. For Easy, for Nick, for Caleb, for Noah, for Chris, I am Spencer. We are the Heavyweights. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.